Hi everyone, this is Amber, and I wanted to share a video with you today on how I get my photos ready to print on 8.5 by 11 or 19 by 13 photo paper. It is a question that I actually get asked a lot about, so I thought I would do a little quick tutorial here. So I am in Photoshop. I have some photos already saved down here at the bottom that you can see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 4x6s, a couple of 3x4s, and a 7 by 8.25 to share with you. So what I'm going to do is go over here and click on File, New, and I'm going to show you the 19 by 13 first. So I have, well, for some reason it always attaches here, so I'm just going to go to Arrange, Float All in Windows, and get my photo minimized back down until we're ready. So I will be sharing some template ideas for printing different sizes together on one photo sheet towards the end, and I'll show you how I do that. For now, what I'm going to do is just start by literally bringing up each photo at a time. I'm going to go over here to the Move tool, and all I'm going to do is drag and drop my photo. I'm going to move it up here into the corner. I don't really pay too much attention to the edges. I just give it a little bit of space because there's plenty of room here. I'm just going to keep doing that. And then you'll see up here in a moment, these purple guides are going to pop up, and I'm going to use those here to help me align my photos. One of the reasons why I pay a little bit of attention to that is it will make it easier for me when I'm cropping a bunch at one time, because all I have to do is cut once here, cut once here, and then cut the photos down in between. And it just makes it a lot easier, so I'm not trying to like work around them basically. So as you can see here, these photos are from a vacation I took last year to Antigua in 2021. I just grabbed some random ones that I thought would be fun to share with you guys. And I don't really go for perfection here. I'm usually just getting it close enough. So that is my 6 4x6s. And then I'm also going to pull over my 3x4s. As you can see, we found a starfish. It was really cool. We were picking it up and took photos and putting it back in the water to keep it safe, you know. But so as you can see here, you can always think of 2 3x4 photos as 1 4x6. So right here, you can see I've got 6 4x6s, 2 3x4s. These could be any combination of each other. And in fact, with this empty space right here, I could even put a 5x7 here if I really wanted to. I could have 2 4x6s, I could have 4 more 3x4s. Hopefully you get the idea. Or sometimes, if this is all I need to print, I will intentionally arrange my photos in a specific way so that I leave myself a space like this that is at least 6x8 so that I can crop that and save that later as a custom size, or I could cut that down to 2 4x6s, whatever I would need. But like, for example, I wouldn't put my photos like this because then this is wasted space that I can't keep. This could still be 1 4x6 left over, but I would instead put it up here, keeping in mind of my open available space. So hopefully that is helpful. What I would do finally then is I would go to I would go to Layer, I would flatten my image, and then I would save it and then print it out. I use Canon Luster Plus, which is like a matte finish. I don't really prefer glossy, but that is just me. Everyone is entitled, of course, to their own opinion. I just like it because it's not too reflective and it hides fingerprints really well. So I'm going to now pull up one that I have sized to 7 by 8.25. Okay, and I'm going to show you what that would look like if I drag and drop that on here. And then I would again do the same thing. I would add a 4x6 next to it. And then we can add, you know, another 4x6 over here. And then another, you know, just doing the same thing. You know, I could go like this and add another 3x4 next to it. I could go like this. If I wanted to, I could put another 7x8 1/4 up here. I could bring up more 4x6s. You know, and just keep going. Or say, you know, I didn't like the way that looked on there, or I felt like I needed some different space, I could turn it and move it. So that wouldn't make sense for this one though. It would look better the other way. One more undo. Guess not. There we go. So, you know, just I just drag and drop. I would try not to waste space like that if I could help it. I would instead probably do 2 3x4s next to each other if possible. I might not have the room. So sometimes I will keep playing. So see, there's not enough space there. It's too big. So then I would just move that one on top and then put whatever will fit. Sometimes that might mean going like this and taking up whatever's left vertically. You know, I try to think as well as I can to fill up as much space as possible. So one last thing I want to show you, and all I'm doing here is just undoing all the layers so that I can close this one. I'm going to now pull up an 8.5x11 and show you how I handle that one. So let's go to 8.5x11, and also I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, you always want to make sure your resolution, which is your pixels per inch, is set to 300. That is so you know that it will be as clear as possible and not pixelated, and you know that your photos will, if you use the same settings every time, then you know your photos will truly print at 4x6. If my pixels were higher or lower, believe it or not, the dimensions of the photos would not be accurate. So when I'm printing on an 8.5x11 and I drag over a 4x6, you can see how much bigger it looks on there. Let's find another fun one here, me with the starfish. Okay, so I would line these two up like this, and then I have a couple options. I don't have enough space here for another 4x6, left and right. What I could do is drag one over and spin it. Sorry, I didn't leave myself quite enough room there. Usually I drag from the other corner. So I'm like, what is going on? So you just want to make sure you're looking for that even 90% up there in your corner. The other option, if I didn't want to do that, sorry, made a mess of that. The other option that you could do is to, let's actually just get rid of that one, is pull the file up, go to Image, Rotate, and rotate 90 degrees clockwise. Now it's perfectly 90 degrees and I can just drag and drop it into that space. I have printed like this many times. Another option though could be that instead of having those, I could have 3x4s right here next to it. Which is that was my 3x4. So instead I could have these on here, and I'm wasting as little space as possible. Okay, let me now go into, that's good. Let me now go into all of my photo templates and share those with you. So I have them saved here. When I'm adding photos to Photoshop, I simply can highlight them and I just drag and drop them into the icon. I'm just going to give them a minute to pop up here. So I hope you will find these really helpful. My suggestion would be, since I don't really have a good platform for sharing downloads, to pause the video and make yourself sketches based on what I'm about to show you now. So we're going to start out here with an 8.5x11. I have all the sizes here in a pretty big font for you. So as you can see, on an 8.5x11, I've got one 7x8 1/4 and two 3x4s. Let's get rid of that. One of my most used printing template options that I do a lot, especially with Project Life, is I'll put 6 3x4s on here together. This is like the one where I had instead put a 4x6 here and a 4x6 here and did the 2 3x4s vertically on the side. Here is again where I did the 2 4x6s, one vertical. It could be a vertical photo or a horizontal turn on the side. And I also had room to print 2 2x2s down there. Maybe they're not photos, maybe they're a digital embellishment like a round piece of chipboard or a digital phrase that you drag and drop on there and you're going to punch out with, you know, your round punch. I try to take advantage of as much space as possible. I hate wasting paper, so sometimes I'll even just print out extra pieces like that just to have in my stash. Here is another 8.5 by 11 with some 3x4s, a vertical or horizontal 4x6 on the side, and some 2x2s. And then now we're jumping into the 19 by 13s. So here I have 2 9 by 12s side by side on this photo paper. Most often when I'm setting up my canvas, it's almost always horizontal, not vertical. So 2 9 by 12s there. Here we have a 9 by 12, a 6 by 12, and 3 3x4s. Here we have 3 6 by 12s all on one canvas. I've done this often when I'm adding these into a 9 by 12 or 6 by 12 album. Here is one of my also most used canvases with 9 4x6s on there. And if you do the math, so I buy Canon Luster Plus paper, 50 sheets for $50 on Amazon. Sometimes I also buy it from B&H Photo. That is $1 a sheet. When you figure out the fact that I'm printing 9 photos on a $1 sheet piece of paper, that is 11 cents per print. That is almost cheaper than Shutterfly because I'm not paying for shipping. It might be cheaper than Persnickety prints. I'm not saying that the quality is the same, but it is Canon photo paper, you know, so it's going to be pretty good. But this is what helps me get projects done, is being able to print at home using these configurations. And the way I think of it is I buy generic inks. I don't even include the inks in my cost when I'm figuring out how much a print is because they're so cheap that it really doesn't, you know, I don't consider it at all. I consider the photo paper, my time, my effort, the fact that I'm getting projects done, and it is a pretty good quality. So moving on, we have another one here that is 2 6 by 12s, 2 4x6s, and 2 3x4s. This one is a great one for if you were like doing December daily. You've got 2 outside of the page protector full-size pages, 7 by 8 1/4, 2 4x6s, these could be vertical or on their sides, and you have 2 3x4s. Remember, these could be 4x6s, these could be 3x4s turned on their side. There's so many different ways to configure. Here's another example where one of these I replaced as a 4x6. And then here's one that is got 4x6s, 6x12s, all 3x4s. Heck, I have even printed these with all 3x4s. So what would that give you? 18 3x4 prints on one sheet. Like that's a no-brainer for me. So I hope you found this helpful. I would love to answer any more questions that you might potentially have, so please let me know. I'm really mostly only familiar with Photoshop, and this is a system that works pretty well for me. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I haven't told you, but like I said, if there's any questions that pop up, please let me know, and I can't wait to share my next project with you. Thanks so much.